In episode 4, Bernard, Maureen and Bill give us their different angles on what effect lockdown has had on their everyday lives and how they've coped.
Last thing, Bill.
Yes.
Due to the state of my hair, can this barber shop have a wig department?
If you wish, it can have any department you wish. You know, you can go through the back door into this dreamlike world.
Wear a wig if you want.
Turkish towels and a cutthroat razor.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
And here's Bernard in his garden.
We've got quite a lot of people coming around today, and in sequence, so I'm going to have to work out how to deal with it. That should be quite interesting. I don't really know how it's going to go, so just wish me well. This is what the weather had looked a few days earlier. At least hopefully it wasn't going to be that bad. So we hoped. The night before I'd made some cakes. There was a gluten-free happy birthday cake for my daughter-in-law. There were flapjacks for everybody else as well. And these are my famous flapjacks because many years ago, 2007, I made a video on how to make a flapjack for something called Chorlton Eats. I'd forgotten about it ever since then, but then a couple of years ago I looked at it again and found out that it had over 18,000 hits. So in one leap I'd become king of the flapjacks. So anyway, the various guests arrived. My daughter-in-law, my son, the two daughters, they came along. My other son came with his two daughters. The children had a great time in the garden. They played together, or not. Went into the greenhouse to keep warm, and then the weather began to change a bit. After the family had gone, our evening guests arrived. 6 very old friends of ours. As you can see, we gradually put on more and more blankets as the evening went on. But we still had a good time. And by the end of it, we were absolutely freezing to death. So, here I am. End of the day. It's weird. What a day it's been. It's been really, I think in retrospect it will be better than it was on the day, because it's been really cold. It stopped raining now, but it's rained and rained and rained. This tent has been magnificent. It saved the day. People have been really good. Everybody ended up with blankets. We're totally mad. That's what we are. We're totally mad. Anyway, that's
In a school play, my friend could really imitate Hilda Baker, and I was the tallest girl in my primary school. This is in the last year of primary, so I had to be Cynthia. So I never said it. You know, my 5 minutes of fame.
That's a very good impression, Jackie. You can see.
And thank you, Cynthia. Now, let's hear from Maureen.
Yes, so lockdown for me, it's been really interesting, and I've enjoyed so much of it. So I started off early on because we had to go out and have an exercise, and I was like going around my local park, and my daughter said, do you know you've got a nice walk down by the canal and it's only across the main road? And So I tried it, and I just had to sort of get across Chester Road, past McDonald's, and there's a small sign saying Salvation Army Citadel, and it's only a 5-minute walk. And I've been here 20 years, and I've never done that. Then the next thing, before I hit the benches, there are 4 of them, where I sit on one of them, there's a tree, and if it's a breeze or a slight breeze or the windy, it creaks because it's leaning up against a wall. And I talked to this tree because it talks to me. And one of the men in the factory said it only talks to you. Right, so then I'm on my bench and it's beautiful, and that's when I make my note. The trees are doing what they're doing, and the canal's doing what they're doing, or there are cyclists passing or people walking. And depending on, like, in the week when it is, you just get to know all these different people. I've made such friends. So when I'm making notes, I always put the date, the time, and where I'm sitting. So once I get to the precinct, I'm sitting on Mr. McHugh's bench, and it's a different pace from the canal, and the canal's got a life of its own with those people. So then I come into my world of the precinct with their people that I've got used to seeing now. Totally different world that we're around with that I didn't know for 20 years. That's fascinating. And it was early on. It was the 12th of April, so about a fortnight after lockdown. I'm making my notes, and this lady passes, and she's got a camera round her neck, and she said, "Is it all right if I talk to you?" And I said, "Of course." So she said, "I'm Ingrid," and I said, "Oh, you've got a nice camera there." So she said, "Oh, I'm like a social photographer local, and I've been taking shots of buildings in Stretford because things are changing so much." And she asked me what I was doing, and she said she'd like to meet me. Was it all right? Actually, on that day, she took photographs of me. So those were the first photographs. And the first time ever writing in my notes, I didn't write about what I was seeing. I wrote about a memory that prompted in me, because a few years ago, quite a few years ago now, I was on my way to Oberammergau to the Passion Play that's only every 20 years. And this year should have been one of the years, and they can't have it. It's got to be postponed. And we stopped in Germany, and we saw some war graves, and the headstones seemed higher than they would normally. And I just thought, they looked like young men, stood to attention, rows upon rows of these young men. And yes, I thought that was sad. One day when I'd gone in to pick up something for my daughter, there's only like a bakery shop open, and as I'm coming out, I saw this chap with a trumpet coming towards me. As I'm heading out, he's heading in, and I said, "You're the man with the trumpet." I said, "You made my day a few weeks ago." I said, "It was wonderful." And he said to me, "Which way are you going?" And I said, "I'm heading that way." He said, "Can I walk with you?" And so I said, "Yes." And we went outside. He said, "I want to play for you." And he said, "I'm going to play a piece of music from Chinatown, the film." And I stood there, and I said, "Oh, well, keep your distance." And he played for about 5 minutes, this soft, beautiful tune. And then, you know when they do that thing when they put the hand on the heart like that? He did that and went off. And I remember writing in my log, I do love what life gives me, because, I mean, being serenaded by a man with a trumpet, Stretford Precinct, it's just been filled with moments like that.
They were very innovative with rhubarb during those days, though, weren't they? Yes.
Yeah. Isn't it meant to be an aphrodisiac or something?
Wow. Now then, if you chop it all up, you can have a go, Sandy. Find out. You could keep a diary and let us know. And then you can pass it round.
Would somebody like to ring Steve up at work and warn him?
Give him some as well.
You'll need to do a double blind trial, obviously.
Isn't that an invite the neighbours in kind of event?
I was going to say, Sandy, are you going to greet him at the door this evening just wearing a few sticks of rhubarb?
As long as Bill's not recording it.
oh no, the red light doesn't mean anything. Come on, there's got to be a response to that.
I'm moving it away from this rather suspicious area that we're going into.
The red light district, you mean?
Yes.
Red light means the door's closed.
The red rhubarb district.
I'm doing tomorrow. Has anybody got any ideas for a theme for tomorrow?
Rhubarb.
And talking of rhubarb, here's Bill.
My wife's very protective. You're not going out there. But at night, and the doctor, he says to me, 15.25 stone, you need to lose weight, lad, because if you don't lose weight, cusp of diabetes too, so watch it. So here's an opportunity. Do something. Don't talk about it, do it. Sedentary lifestyle, sitting down, writing, so you get a numb bum and a numb head at the end of the day. And there's no 9 to 5. It's whatever the deadline dictates. Oh, and we've also discovered that we can have a conversation without me thinking I've got to do such and such, or play frustration, or watch the telly. Coronation. Oh, don't go there, don't go there. But I found a walk 3 miles round at night. Leave at 9:30, put my boots on, beret on, always a beret, off, down and round. The first night I was knackered. Took me an hour. Bit by bit by bit, I got better at being able to do this walk. One night, the 22A from Wigan to St Helens was going down the road, and for some inexplicable reason I waved. I'd never done that before. And the guy in the bus waved back, because just at that point when he went under one of the orange lights that illuminated his cabin, and he was waving at me. I'm sure he'd never done that before. Night after night, I carried on, and the weight's dropping, and I'm feeling a lot better. At the beginning of lockdown, there was elation at having no deadlines, but a real sense of guilt that there are people out there losing their lives and other people putting their lives on the line to save as many people as they can. And here am I, in his comfort zone, not being able to do anything. And also the diary wiped clean and the accompanying fees gone. No furlough. We stand or fall on what we do from project to project. But I have my health. And I'm out there and I'm walking around. And one night, there's a security van, because there's lots of railway bridges and railway sidings and gates and things around here. So there's a security team that go around late at night. I've never seen them before, because I've never been out doing this walk at night. But now, and I go down and I pass, and they're sat there, an Indian couple. And they both wave at me. And I wave back. And this becomes a ritual. Every night that I go down there, the 22A and the couple in the security van, and we're all part of the same new reality. And it's a wonderful sense of belonging. And in the garden, My wife's put out the nuts. And we've got spotted woodpeckers that come across from just across the other side of the road. We've never seen them before. And there's no cars. The A580 from Manchester to Liverpool, and not a car on it. And it's usually jam-packed. No vehicles. Sense of release. And we had a couple of blackbirds feeding on the wing. And one of my neighbours said to me, blackbirds don't do that. But they do. Oh yes, they do.
As I get older, I find I only need 3 shops: Specsavers, Boots and Greggs. My life is just specs and drugs and sausage rolls.
Oh, that is really good.
Oh, you're all so clever.